Welcome to the Step Ahead Training Academy, America's best real estate training program, providing you with the knowledge and know-how to be a top producer in your town. Welcome to PFS 102, Listing for Sale by Owners. This is a fantastic learning opportunity, and this particular prospecting exercise that we're going to do and the knowledge that you're going to learn in this is something that you can use for every type of prospect that you have. In other words, there is no prospect that's going to be harder for you to learn to master than that of the for sale by owner. So the point of this particular program is to teach you to master for sale by owners, and everything else will be much easier. And you'll succeed with every other type of prospecting that you do. So get good at prospecting to for sale by owners, and you'll be good at other types of prospecting. And that's why we've dedicated an entire session just to for sale by owners. So let's take a look at just a very simple mathematical equation here and what the possibilities are with for sale by owners. Just 20 for sale by owner listings per year that would turn into sales with an average commission of $4,500 would produce a $90,000 a year commission spike for you. You'd make $90,000 more a year if you could list just 20 for sale by owners. That's based on a $300,000 sale with a 50% commission split and you only getting half of the sale, in other words, 3%. A good realtor must be able to learn to use the right techniques, scripts, and dialogue to convert a for sale by owner into a listing. And by the way, to get 20 for sale by listings per year is really nothing. That's basically saying that you're only going to close half of them if you were to see 40 in your marketplace, and chances are there's more like 50 or 60 in your marketplace. You just have to dig and find them, drive around, find them, and things like that, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. So step one in being successful with working with FSBOs is making the call. Before you can make the call, you have to overcome the fear of the phone. In my years of real estate and managing realtors, I've seen so many people that are afraid of the phone, and I just don't understand it. The person can't come through the phone and bite you. They can't come through the phone and smack you in the head. They can't do much worse than anything than hanging up on you. It's the same thing about showing up if you do an in-person visit. The worst thing they're going to do is shut the door in your face. So you have to overcome the fear of the phone. Forget about getting the appointment for right now until you're comfortable with being on the phone. Focus being comfortable on the phone. Practice. Don't be afraid to fail. Embrace failure. Write down what you did wrong. Learn from what you did wrong and don't do it again. You will learn from your mistakes, and your mistakes will make you stronger. Don't be afraid to push yourself to a breakdown. You may get to a point where you just don't even want to make another call. Push through it. Push through it. Pick up the phone again. Make that one more call. That's the difference between the realtor that makes $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year and the one that struggles making $30,000 a year. A breakdown plus open-mindedness plus corrective action equals a breakthrough, and you can hit that breakthrough. Step two, very simple. Get the appointment. You are on the phone for one purpose and one purpose only. It is to get off the phone with the appointment. You're not there to talk about other things. You're not there to hear why they don't want to have the appointment. You are on the line to get the appointment, and that is all you are looking to do. So step two is to get the appointment. So now that you know you have to get the appointment, how do you go about getting the appointment? Well, here is the telephone approach. We are going to use an acronym called IICCC. Okay? This approach should be used with all prospects, not just FSBOs. As I said before, the techniques that we're going to teach you here are put in place for one reason and one reason only, not just to teach you how to work with a FSBO, but how to work with all prospects. So the first is to identify. The second is to introduce. The first C is to clarify. The second C is about commitment, finding out what they're committed to. And the third C is call to action, asking them to take action that is consistent with what they're committed to. Let's start with identify. This is a very important step. So it's your first I, identify. You say, hi, I'm calling because I saw your house is for sale. Notice that you never say your name or that you're a realtor. What you want to do in this step is get the decision maker on the phone. If you say, hi, I'm a realtor calling for your house to sell, a child or a wife or someone is going to turn around and say, hey, there's a realtor on the phone. And you're going to hear in earshot, tell them I'm not here. So that's why you're doing what you do. You're going to say, hi, I'm calling because I saw your house for sale. And the child or whoever answers the phone is going to say, hold on, let me get my dad, as an example. Once the decision maker is on the phone, the agent says, is the house still for sale? Your purpose in this is to get them excited. They think they've got a live one on the line. They think they've got someone that's interested in buying their home. At this point now, you introduce yourself. Hi, this is X from XYZ Realty. How are you today? Understand that at this point, they've gone from being excited to think they have a buyer on the line to B, saying, oh, another realtor. Because chances are you're not the first realtor that's called them. So you go right in to clarify. I am calling to see if you are open to working with agents in the sale of your property. Are you? If they answer yes, ask, is it currently listed with a broker? This is important information. If they say yes, we can't solicit to them. So if they are, just wish them luck and tell them if you find a buyer, you'll show them their home. They may also answer, we are not interested in working with realtors. Do not do anything combative at this point. Instead, deflect them by asking, so you're trying to sell it on your own? They'll reply with yes. Be careful to clarify by asking, is that because you want to save on a commission? Keep in mind they may also have had a bad experience with a realtor, so usually they will answer yes. So you want to try to find the real truth in all of this. What it is, why it is that they're trying to list the house themselves. You're also deflecting from them saying, well, why aren't you going? You want to go back and say, well, why aren't you working with a realtor? Don't you know we can sell the house faster? Don't you know how we can sell the house for more money? No, I don't want you to do that. I need you to avoid the conflict here and work around it. And that's why you ask that question. More so just to deflect the going head to head and continuing the conversation. So you've identified you have the right person on the phone, you've introduced yourself, and you've clarified why you've called to see if they're open to working with realtors. Now what I want you to do is something that is so important in real estate, and this is a point, if you don't learn anything else, if you learn just this one point, committed, the big C, committed. If you learn what a person is committed to, you can be successful in any type of sales. The key, again, is to learn what they're committed to. Always be conversational. Never like you're giving a presentation. Conversation is two people talking. A presentation is what I'm doing now. Telling. Their response to every question will help you choose your next question. Pay close attention to what it is they say to fuel your next question. Do not start handling objections or getting too detailed at this point. Just learn what it is they're trying to accomplish. We want to move before our son gets into high school because there's a better football program in the next town over. Now you know they want to be moved in their new house by August before their kid goes into high school. You've got this ammunition. That's what you're looking for. Your objective is to get an appointment, not to get the listing on the phone. All you're trying to do, remember, is to get in their door. You don't want to try to sell them over the phone. You want to create a rapport with them where they're willing to listen to you and allow you to come speak with them. Finally, you want to close them. Remind them what they're committed to doing, which is selling their home. In the example I used, selling their home so they can get their son in a new home before he begins high school the following September. Remind them that all options should be explored, which includes meeting with you. An example script. Would you be offended if I stop by to see your house? Notice I never ask a question that someone can say no to. Who's going to say, yes, I'd be offended? No one will. If I could help you move to town A and you weren't going to have to pay a brokerage fee out of the monies you need in order to make this move a success, would that be of interest to you? Of course it's a yes question. If they object, remind them that you may have buyers for them and that your goal is the same goal as theirs, which is to sell their home for the highest possible price as quickly as possible. They have nothing to lose by taking your meeting, and of course there's no obligation. You need to hone your skills and become the best that you possibly can be at getting the appointment. Learn your scripts and practice the scripts often. Remember, it's a contact sport. Don't be afraid to fail. If you fail, write down what it is that caused you to fail, learn from it, go back to your scripts, get better at it, and again, as I said, hone your skills. We have plenty of scripts that come in this module, and I want you to take them, learn them, put them in your own words, and be able to regurgitate them using your words, not my words or the words that they were written in. Activity 1 of this module will provide the tools needed to master the telephone approach. Practice these each day. Get an accountability partner. Practice these until it becomes second nature. Use the IICCC with all prospects on the telephone. Remember, I, identify, make sure you're talking to the right person. Introduce, tell them who you are. Clarify the reason that you called, the reason that you're speaking with them. Find out what it is they're committed to. Spend as much time as you possibly can to learn what it is the person is committed to, and then have a call to action, or as I like to say, close them. One of the great things about the Step Ahead training program is we give you everything that you need to be successful, and it's turnkey. Just follow the steps, learn how to work the programs, and these things will work for you. One of the things that we have in this particular program and in this module is the My Town Gurus Step Ahead Training Academy 12 and 30 FSBO program. It's 12 touches in 30 days. And basically how it works, we provide brochures, pamphlets, newsletters, DVDs, things that will help the FSBO sell their home. The My Town Gurus 12 and 30 program has all of the materials needed for success. And the objective is for the FSBO to see that selling a home is complicated and that you are an expert that can sell their home, which is a simpler and easier solution. The homeowner needs to learn that there are two parts to selling a home: marketing the home and ensuring the transaction makes it to closing. Most FSBOs only consider the marketing part of it. This program is also contained in this module as a breakout session, and if you go to mytowngurus.com/marketing, you can find the support materials for the 12 in 30 FSBO program. The 12 Touches in 30-Day program is designed to break down barriers and provide value to the FSBO, to make them see you as someone that is valuable to them and someone that can help them and someone that's a trusted advisor. Not someone showing up saying, hey, you'll never do this on your own, or making them feel as though they want to put up a defense mechanism, but instead showing you as a valued advisor and a person that eventually will help them if they can't sell it on their own. It's important to build rapport first, trust, and then a relationship. The program is designed to make the FSBO see you as a resource. The program shows the FSBO how hard it is to sell a home on their own and that they really need to hire a realtor. Continue to soft close the prospect at every step along the way, just as it teaches you on the program. Learn the script and use the materials provided in Activity 2 of this learning module, and you will be successful with FSBOs. We're now going to talk about the knocking on doors approach. When you do this, you want to introduce yourself and build rapport. Ask probing questions. Ask to tour the home. Build rapport, and then follow up with the My Town Gurus 12 and 30 FSBO program. There's a DVD that's done for each guru for their town. We suggest that, and that is the step 1 of the materials in this, we suggest that you hand them a town DVD along with your business card when you meet them at their door. It's such a powerful, powerful tool to show them as you being the guru and the expert of that town when it comes to everything, including real estate. So make sure you have that DVD with you. Make sure you have your listing presentation book with you and business cards with you and any other materials that you would need to list a house. And obviously at this point, that's the first step in knocking on doors. Another approach is the graduated listing approach. You call a FSBO and ask that they would pay a commission if you brought them a buyer. Most will say yes, and if they do say yes, ask them to see their home. If they hesitate or only want you to come with the buyer, explain that you would need to agree on them on the selling terms first and that you are protecting yourself. Meet with them at their house, build rapport in an effort to educate them about everything you can offer. Be prepared to have the listing conversation right then and there. Step 3 is follow-up. No matter what technique you use, you have to follow up. While you hope to do this, don't expect to close a FSBO the first time you're out. And don't push a FSBO. The mistake most realtors make is they realize that the competition is fierce, and of course there's the fear that the person actually will sell their house on their own. Understand two things. First of all, about the competition, they're all going to push hard and they're all going to turn this seller off. You are not. You are going to be a trusted advisor and a person they look to as a resource, and therefore they're going to see you differently than they see all the other realtors. The second part about selling the home on their own, while it is possible, you know what it's like as a realtor when you do all the right things. A FSBO has a much harder time because nobody sees their house, especially if it's not listed in MLS. So follow up. Send handwritten thank you letters. It was great meeting with you today. Boom, 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 boom. Put your business card in. Talk about something you spoke about. Send relevant mailings, interest rate changes, moving checklists, how to run an open house, which is part of our 12 and 30 program. Always include the cover letter and call again to get the appointment or listing. After you send them something, it's a perfect thing to call them 2 or 3 days later. Ask them, did you get my checklist on how to run an open house? If they say no, don't worry, I'll send it again. And after you send it again, ask them again. If they don't get it the second time, drop it off. What you're doing is you're causing situations where you get to call this person over and over and over. And again, try to listen to what it is they're committed to in each of these times, and you will be more successful. Build a rapport with them and eventually close them. So when should you follow up? The best times to call are Sunday evenings, Monday, and Tuesday evenings after 6 p.m. Owners are usually the most frustrated at these times because they didn't have any showings over the weekend. Maybe they ran an open house. The open house, nobody came, or 1 or 2 people came. They may lie to you. Oh, I had 25 people. Oh, did you get a buyer? Well, no. You know they didn't get 25 people. They're just trying to save face. They're trying to protect the fact that they're making the right decision by being a for sale by owner, even though we know they're not. So, they always say, don't kick your friends when they're down. In this case, you're kind of kicking your friend while they're down, or this FSBO while they're down. And what I want you to be is positive, upbeat, uplifting, and have an attitude that could pep them up and get you the listing. If they don't answer their phone, and they may not because they might have your number saved, leave the voicemail. There's a script in this module that you will see that's the perfect script to leave for someone doing this. Also, be sure to tell them, wow, we had X number of homes go under contract this weekend in your town. When you say the word we, use the MLS, and remember, we means all realtors. So if 7 houses went under contract in the last 3 or 4 days in that neighborhood, you can say, wow, I'm kind of surprised you didn't sell. We had 7 sell. Well, if they even ask, well, who's we? Say, well, the realtors in this town. And they'll get the idea. And the more they get the idea that you can sell and they can't, the better chance that you have of getting them to convert to a listing. This next slide says it all. These are sales statistics. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of people say they make a second call and then stop. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. Only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. Now, pay attention to this. 2% of sales are made in the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And a whopping 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. Follow up, follow up, follow up. And that is why our 12 and 30 system is so important and works so well. Because not only does it tell you exactly what to do so you get the most out of those contacts, but it actually has you making those contacts so that you become the 10% of people that contact more times. Contact, 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 and continue to follow up. Step 4 is simple. Get the listing. Master getting the listing. Get comfortable working with a prospect face to face and sitting with them. The next section of modules that you're going to take is PLC, which is Powerful Listing Conversations. And in that, we'll teach you how to give a listing presentation. But in the time being, what we're teaching you now is how to get up to the point where you're getting ready to give that listing conversation. So what you're doing right now is trying to set that appointment. So we want you to do all the steps here up through step 4, which is going and getting that listing appointment so that you can go and get face-to-face with the person and then get comfortable working face-to-face with them. The final thing I want to go over is where you find for sale by owners. And you can see this list on your screen. It is nowhere near extensive. It's not exhaustive. There are so many places to find FSBOs. Drive down a different street each time on your way home. Pay a spotter. Get a high school kid, say, hey, when you're coming home from school, anytime you get me a for sale by owner, I'll give you $5 or $10. They'll be happy to do it. There are so many ways. Get your friends, your family, your spouse, anybody. Get them to find FSBOs. The more FSBOs they find, the more shots you're going to have, the more attempts you're going to have, and the more successful you're going to be. Thank you for participating in the Step Ahead Training Academy, providing you with the knowledge and know-how to be a top producer in your town.